Hello everybody, I'm C45H, also known as Cash, and welcome back to a brand new video. I know it has been 3 or 4 months since I've done a toy/pickups video, so now it's time. I'm back. So this is a bunch of pickups that I have collected for the past 3 or 4 months. I've gone on a couple trips to places, and so what do we start with? How about we start with Dick Tracy? Why don't we? So, I went to Rose City Comic Con in Portland recently, so I picked up a couple of Dick Tracy items there, and one more at a vintage toy store in Portland. So let me show off the Comic Con stuff first. So I picked up this vintage Dick Tracy doll, if you will. These were made in the 90s. I really like this one. The jacket, I think can come off, but it's like attached to the vest here. Hat doesn't come off, but it looks kind of like Warren Beatty. Maybe he has a little bit better resemblance than the action figure, but I really like it. The cloth is good. They don't really stand up by themselves. They did come with stands back in the day, but I don't have any of those. Another of the doll ones is Breathless Mahoney, the Madonna figure. Now, I got these two and this and a third figure all in a little bag for $5. And I've seen this one with the stand at an antique store for like $25. So this was an amazing pickup. I love this. They did a great job of sculpting her face. It looks exactly like Breathless, and this is a really nice material for the dress. Now, in that bag, this is the third. It's a smaller figure. It's this little Dick Tracy figure that's from the 90s as well. But this one doesn't have any articulation. He's just supposed to kind of, stand on the shelf or wherever you put him. But this is really nice. I like that I found all of these because at Comic-Con I was actually dressed up as Dick Tracy, and we walk over to this booth and this guy's like, "Oh, we got some Dick Tracy stuff in the bottom of there." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So I found all those for $5. It's amazing. Then a couple days ago I went to Portland we went to this amazing pinball museum that it's not like a real museum. You can actually play with pinball machines, and we went to a vintage toy store. So at that store, I actually found this carded Dick Tracy figure. It's a carded Steve the Tramp, which is amazing. It's basically unpunched still, and then the little punch thing is pretty loose. But I found this at that store for $10. There's no yellowing on the carding, no dents in it or anything. And this is Steve the Tramp. So if you haven't already seen my video about Steve the Tramp, about how it was pulled off of store shelves because of homeless advocacy groups were offended by him, you should definitely check that out. So it's amazing that I have one that's loose and complete, but it's even better that I have one that's carded now, which is amazing. This is my third carded figure. So I have this one, I have a carded Big Boy, and a carded Dick Tracy, which is awesome. I love these figures. So, let's see. Another Dick Tracy item. This is not 90s Dick Tracy. This is, way back Dick Tracy. This is 1950s Dick Tracy. This is a Dick Tracy cap gun from the 1950s, and you can see it says Dick on the gun. But this is amazing. So you're supposed to load little caps in there, and then you shoot it, and it does smoke and stuff. Still works. Well, I mean, the mechanism still works. I don't know if I've never tried it. Maybe that's a future video. I'm gonna try and put caps in it, maybe. But this was actually given to me by my uncle. So my uncle and my aunt, they bought a chair or something, a really old chair, and this was found in between the cushions of the chair, which is amazing that he gave this to me. So thank you, Uncle. Okay, that is all the Dick Tracy stuff. So how about we move on to Masters of the Universe. So for my birthday, my dad actually got me a couple of Motu figures. First off, he got me this Cyclone figure, which is amazing. This is Mattel Inc. 1984. So this is Cyclone, and he's supposed to spin, like his torso is, and what's amazing is that the action still works. There's this little wheel on the back that you're supposed to like pull on, and it makes him move, which is amazing that it still works. And the figure is in great condition. With most Motu figures, the elastic band that binds the legs gets like really loose, and just like over time it just kind of wears out, so the figure's legs are super loose. That's not the case with this one. It's still awesome. The joints aren't stiff at all. It's amazing. So thank you, Dad. Another thing that my dad actually got me is a newer Motu figure. This is the Revelations Scareglow, which is really cool. They did a good job, like, with translating the older figure into this one. So he has a giant battle axe spear thing. He has different hands, and his head actually glows in the dark, just like the older figure, which is amazing. So this is my first Revelations figure, actually. And this Cyclone is my first, like, truly vintage figure, which is amazing. So, at the vintage toy store I was telling you about in Portland, I found this other Motu figure. It's Mattel Inc. 1982. And this is a Ram Man figure. He does not have his axe, but what's great is his action still works. So what Ram Man does is you push him down like that, and he has this little tab on the back of his foot, and you push it, and he rams, which is amazing that it still works. This was only like $9, which I got this with the Tramp figure, so that's awesome that he still works. So this is, yeah, my second truly vintage Motu figure. Now, this is gonna be the last Motu thing, but, well, Motu thing. This is a knockoff Masters of the Universe figure, which it's this guy. I don't know what company made him. I know that, like, Sun Gold made knockoff Motu figures, but this and one more thing that I'm going to show you later was at the Pinball Museum. So at the Pinball Museum, they have, like, walls of memorabilia, action figures, vintage stuff. So none of that stuff was for sale, but they had a little tiny basket of, like, random loose figures for $1 each. So I found this knockoff figure for $1 at that store, which is, or the Pinball Museum, which is amazing. All the arms still move. The legs, I want to be careful with the legs because I don't want to break him. The head still moves, but that was weird. My computer just froze for a second. The head still moves, but what's weird is that the color of the skin is brown, but the color of the face is like almost purple, which is really funny, and he's gonna look great on my Motu shelf over there. So, moving down the line, I'm gonna show you a thing I picked up at a garage sale, actually. So this is a mini arcade Rampage game. It's a tiny arcade. There's a little joystick and 3 buttons, but what's awesome is that it still works, which is really sick. And all the buttons still work, and you can play it. It still works, which is amazing. That's awesome that it still works. So this isn't the arcade version. I think this is the NES version of the game. So yeah, all the buttons are still there. This, yeah, it's classic Rampage on a tiny portable machine. How could you go wrong? So, next I'm going to show you a couple of TMNT items. There's, 2 here. So this is a figure that I had found at the in the $1 bin at the Pinball Museum. This is from Ninja Turtles 3, the movie. This is Wit, the Casey Jones ancestor. So he's supposed to come with like a hockey mask and like a hair attachment, so you can change him into Casey Jones, which I thought was kind of weird. He does not come with that, but I still like this figure. And for $1, yeah, I mean, how could you go wrong? 1993, Playmates and Mirage Studios, says so on his butt. Next is something that I found at an antique store a while back. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pop Pistol Target game from 1990. So this is kind of a, what's it called? A label slap toy, which they just take a random thing, just slap a name on it, and they, say, oh, it's Ninja Turtles. But this is like a little plastic gun. It says Ninja Turtle Pop Pistol. It has these little balls that you shoot at these little cards of Shredder and Rocksteady. There might be more on the back of the cards, but I can't really see it. But that's awesome. It's a Pop Pistol Target game. So, and it's amazing that it's still, carded, basically, and there's not very much wear on the card, which is cool. Okay, so next I have 2 more funny, random items. So these are something my dad had got me, but these are McDonald's toys from back in the 90s. They're called McNugget Buddies. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of them, but they're from the Halloween dress up series, kind of. So this is the dinosaur McNugget, and you can take off the costume and interchange it with other ones. And this is the McNugget underneath, which is awesome. He looks so funny. He looks like Gerbert, the Christian TV show guy. But yeah, you're supposed to put the costumes and stuff on him, which is really cool. I really like this. Last thing is another McNugget Buddy, actually. This one is still in the package. You can't see it that well through the package on the camera, obviously. But this is the a skeleton McNugget Buddy, so it has a skeleton mask that you put on him. So it says McNugget Buddy here on the wrapper, but guess what McNugget Buddies are called in Spanish? Mi amigo McNugget. You can't make that up. That's hilarious. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this large pickup video. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for my next video. It will be a countdown of my top 5 favorite horror movies in spirit of Halloween. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been C45H, and goodbye.